that was an interesting little experience. It was unexpected. Didn't plan for it. I was watching a video that somebody had linked that was about um, the experience for female Asperger's symptoms. It was about close to half an hour long. It was just somebody on camera just talking about directly on the topic of what it's like um, from a female perspective, the experience and just their thoughts on just general life and how they've experienced it, how they've you know how they've encountered other people and what they think about it. And so it was, I don't know, enlightening. You get another perspective, um, and how they deal with things and how they don't deal with things, and where their boundaries are and where their limits are, and how they recognize them, and how they give themselves permission to feel okay about it, or also the lies that they tell themselves about, feeling guilty and feeling ashamed and feeling bad for being themselves, and it's like, you know, those are things that we just, have to work on. So anyway, so it was a good video. I enjoyed it. I, probably will, go back and watch more. And I already had, subscribed and all that. But I saw the most recent one had to deal with, their experiences with, well, it said like which is deadlier, heroin or alcohol, like. And I don't know what the perspective is. It might be just because, alcohol is more prevalent in today's society, that it has, statistically a greater impact. And so as far as like deadliness goes, or heroin, which I don't really know much about, but both are not the healthiest of recreational activities, if you can call it that. I only know from me, speaking for alcoholism, that it wasn't recreation, it was work. It took a lot of effort. And also just to ride that train all the way to the end. Crash and burn. But figuratively, not literally. But but even I couldn't watch. I didn't watch the video. I had to, I came to do this. Because I was fine watching the video that they did on female Asperger's, but then I was like, oh yeah, just like take, it's like, yeah, that makes sense, and I could see there, how the different perspective, and gender relations and all that, social interactions, friendships, family, all that, and it's like, yeah, makes sense. But then they started talking about, because I went to watch the other video. And knowing what it was going to be about, so I walked right in. But they started talking about their experience with alcoholism, and I made it about a minute before something, so it started, it's like, I don't know, it's like I was not prepared, and they were, speaking directly, you know, it. It's their experience, but it's like, it's resonating, and it's like, I, I was not, prepared, so I had to, I have to collect myself, and it's like, okay, and so it's pretty cool, they've got approaching, as they say, 3 years of sobriety, and I will go back and watch that video. For their perspective, and because that's what we do, and we learn from each other, and learn about strategies, about, it's not just about talking about how bad it was, or like what happened, or how much we drank, or how often, or things we did, stupid stuff, things we're ashamed of, things we're guilty of, and very little to do with that. You know, if you don't, it's one of those things. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I hope you don't ever know. and there's nothing good about it. That it's not glamorous. It's not it's not fun. You know, going to these places. And it's not like a place you can go. It's a place you can go, and then you can't get out. So just hearing somebody else talk about it, and you can tell, you know. So it's nothing to be taken lightly, and it's not a joke. And so I could just feel that she was going to go, and I was going to be taken along, just by just listening and watching her talk. I was going to go someplace. It wasn't, I could feel it. It was like, just, so anyway, I had to get away. I was not emotionally prepared. So, get caught off guard. And by a video, you know? But it's the difference between, like, watching something on the news and watching something, like, something horrible that happens on the news and watching something horrible that's exactly the same in a movie. It's like, somehow it's like there's a difference. It's like, it's it's in a movie, so it's staged. There's actors. It's not really happening. Even though it's based on probably something. It is like stuff that happens in real life. And it is horrible. But then when you see it on the news and it's happening the same thing, it's like those are real people, and it's like, I don't know. Unfortunately, there's some sort of difference where stuff, it creates emotional disturbance when I know it's real people in real situations versus like just something that's happening to somebody else, and it's fiction. Well, it's like if I'm reading a book and something terrible is happening to those characters, it doesn't. I mean, I've read some books where I've gotten emotionally attached to a lot of characters, and what happens to them does actually create like an emotional, you know, I get upset. But I don't know. I am an emotional creature, even though I don't show it, very well or talk about it very well. But that's part of this. Learning, it's like, I didn't know I looked like this when I talk. You know? I didn't know what my face was doing. I didn't know what my hands were doing. So I'm learning. It's like, oh, so that's what it looks like when I talk like this. And this, and this is what my face is doing. Because I wondered. And it's like sometimes my eyes roll. And it's like, oh, that's weird. And but I noticed it now. So it's like, so that's what it looks like. And when I look up and stuff, and I look around, it's like, what am I looking at? So it's fun watching other people. I don't know if I like it though, but it's fun, seeing other people. But it's like, I don't want to see too many other people and how they deal with themselves, because it's like I will subconsciously start imitating them. And it's like I have my own experience, and I want to be authentically me. I don't want to, like, see too many other people doing, it's like, then I don't know. I think I always revert back to myself anyway. So it's like no matter how much I see other people doing whatever it is they do, I will always just revert back to me. So I don't have to worry so much about being unintentionally contaminated, corrupted, or violated by other people's thought patterns. Because my own thought patterns will just override and compensate and just take over. So it's like that was one of my worries early on about recovery material. Is I didn't want, like, I saw, it's like, no, that's not me. I don't want to be like that. That's, that might be what other people want, because that's better than what they've got. But I've already got, you know, some pre-selections going on here that it's like I'm here to, you know, try to learn a way to live without alcohol. That's I'm not looking for, I'm not trying to find God. Let's just put it simply. I'm not here to find God. Um, and that's what a lot of people are. That's what they're looking for, and that's what they say too. Is that the material is there to help you find a, a spiritual understanding of a higher power greater than you, to facilitate that um, psychic change, um, to find God. And if you don't find God, well, you're screwed. You know, that's at least the subtext that I get out of it. You know, find God or die. To put it simply, I know it's not meant to be like that, but that's the way I take it. So, don't tell anyone. Just between you and me. So, bringing it back. But it will be easier to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how this other person, how they identify with this sort of thing. Because I'm sure because if they've got approaching 3 years, then they know exactly kind of, and they're also Aspie, or, you know, um, on the spectrum, you know, or whatever we want to call it today. Asperger's is kind of like taboo or faux pas, or something, because it's somehow uh, Asperger's term comes with some sort of, it's considered high functioning or something, so it makes us sound, or it makes it sound like people that are identified as Asperger's as being better than or superior than. And there's something about Asperger's that has something to do with the name coming from something to do with like uh, somebody that was involved with World War II and of Germanic ancestry. So he may or may not have been a Nazi. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. I'm not, you know, I'm not. It's like that's a whole different thing. But anyway, um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, but it will be interesting because I want to see what their thoughts about religion are and spirituality, and how they've um, engaged and disengaged, or dodged um, being converted or proselytized or manipulated or coerced, um, because, you know, people are trying to help, but the help that's on offer is not, I don't know. So another opinion is welcome in my world, because I feel like I share an opinion of one around me. I have my own. I said it really recently. I said it pretty well. Of course, I can't remember, but a theocracy of one or something. It wasn't. That's not that. But I have my own uh, whole thing going on where it's. I believe in something, but I couldn't tell you what it is. And uh, and it's not me, even though I do believe in me, but that's not what I believe. The best thing that I can come up with, and it's how I describe it for other people so they feel okay about me, so they're not too worried, is I just describe that my higher power of my understanding, and I just call it hope. So, you know, and then I'll have a whole thing that I can talk about, and I'm not going to do that now. But to make you, you know, it is true. It is exactly something that I didn't have when I entered into recovery, and I found in recovery. So, and if that's the qualification of being considered a higher power, then I think it's good. And so, and if it's not good enough for anybody else, well, it's good enough for me. That's what matters. No, that's my understanding of it. So anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed the video. It was good. Um, Similar issues. Um, I will be interested to see if she has any more videos on, because I know I struggle with identity, and I wonder if she, I'm guessing a lot of people with you know various people on the spectrum um, struggle with identity because especially if we've gone undiagnosed for our lives. You know, we don't know who we are because we've been pretending to be so many different people for so long, for so many people, that I just don't, who am I really? It's like I feel like right now I'm being um, relatively uh, pure of myself. It's like this is me. This is how I do. It's like I'm still holding back and I'm still censoring myself. I'm consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously um, refraining from stuff just because I'm aware of you know the risk, and so there's a lot of risk assessment going on, because I've learned that and this is a high for me. This is highly dangerous. This is because I don't. There's a lot of unknowns, and I don't know if it's even worth it. I'm making this for me like a personal little documentary that I may or may not look at a later point. This might just go nowhere. I might delete the whole thing or just shut it down at any point. This is only a weekend, and it's like because if somebody ever starts looking at these, I'm allowed to, but I don't know about anybody else. So it's like if anybody else starts looking at them and like, God forbid they leave a comment, it's like, which don't do. Um, like I don't know how to handle that because it's never happened before. Um, so I don't, if Facebook even, it's like, I'm not sure about, but I, I feel if people have permission, they have permission. And the only way they know if they have permission is by trying. And if I respond, I respond. If I don't respond, then I don't respond. And it doesn't mean anything if I don't respond. It just means that I'm not sure about it. So it's like, it's not like to insult. And sometimes the best I can do is, it's like, yeah, I acknowledge your existence and the fact that you wrote something, but thank you. Um, but it's a delicate thing for me. It's not so uh, rudimentary, and everything takes effort. It's not so. Uh, I have to consider everything. I can't just do things. I mean, I can, but you know, again, it's like if you know, then you know. And it's like I haven't taken that much. There is no script. This is unrehearsed. I don't have anything I'm reading off of, which I kind of miss sometimes. And I've thought about it. It's like, could I just read something? But then I just, like I said in the one thing, it's like I don't feel like I have to, because I'm looking at. So it's, but yeah, I kind of wish I had a script somewhere. Somebody showing me cue cards, things I could say. But I don't got that. It's just me, and so we're stuck with me, you and I. So we're making the most of it. We're trying. I don't have to try so hard as I used to. Things do feel not intuitively innate or not innately intuitive, but I don't. I don't struggle as much as I used to, and I still struggle though. It's just it's different. Yeah. So I just finished an upload, and it took forever for it to upload, half an hour. It might just be this local area. But we're already at 20 minutes again, and it's like I'm just talking. But for whatever reason, I get a lot of, I find contentedness, satisfaction, and a sense of ease, um, probably more so than just talking to myself than I do from like social interaction with other people. This is less stressful because I know what to expect. I know who this person, they don't require me to be anything more than what I already am right now. So I don't have to explain anything. He already knows exactly what's going on. Um, and once I'm done, I know what I'm doing. I don't have to, say anything about what it's like I already know. So, yeah. There's something else I was going to say, but I forgot. It was, but that happens. So, yeah. This is what you get with unscripted stuff. It's like, and like right now, if I'm watching this at some point in the future, I know exactly how I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, I'm I'm working on something, but the words haven't arrived yet, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting on myself. They might not arrive, so we'll see. Of course, now I'm waiting for new words because I'm thinking about the words that I'm saying right now, and so the words that might be trying to arrive, they're getting, so give it a second. No, they're not coming. No, no. I've gotten too distracted, and now I'm like, no. Okay. Dang it. It was something cool too. But I was thinking about from seeing myself on the screen. I was thinking about getting some like whitening something, for my teeth, because I didn't realize how kind of not white they are, and I could stand to be a little bit whiter. So I don't know. Maybe some tooth whitener. Is that weird? I don't know if that's weird. But I did smoke, you know, for a long time, and cigarettes. And my quit date for smoking, um, Marlboro Menthol Lights, um, September 28th of 2019. So I've already got 15 months of quit smoking, and I didn't do anything. I didn't. I just decided, and I didn't. There was no support. There was no 12 steps. There was no recovery. I just decided. It's like, and there was a whole thought process. I might talk about that another time. But like, how do you quit smoking? It's like, well, some people like they will quit. They will quit drinking or quit other things, and then just continue to smoke themselves to death, and paying for it with health concerns all the way. And it's just like, then it's like, like you can quit one thing, but you can't quit another thing. So it's like, so after, I think it was like after 3 years of being in recovery from, drinking myself to death, uh, I decided, because I had already wanted to quit smoking for a while, and it was just like, I just had to find a good time and a good excuse to quit. And I found a good excuse, and that's a whole other story. I've written about it in detail a few times, but I've never, so seen how I tell the story, which is different, apparently. Um, so I'll do that sometime. But I'm pretty happy about quitting smoking. But still, after effects. At least my fingers. Because I used to have some yellowing of the skin around where we used to hold cigarettes and staining of the nails. So that's cleared up. So I could do something about my teeth. Maybe, and then also the coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, and so that doesn't probably help either. So anyway, it's cosmetic, and I do write about vanity and pride and hubris quite a little bit, and I'm talking to myself, and it's like, yeah, I only think as far as like vanity goes, it's like mostly I'm talking about just how I tend the tendency to believe oneself to be better than what one actually is. And it's like, I'm not nearly as great as what I tend to give myself credit for. And and whenever I'm talking to other people, it's not my job if they don't know how great that I think I am. It's not my job to let them know how great that I think I am, or how great that they should think that I am. No, that's not. First of all, I'm not that great. I mean, and second of all, I can never tell anybody what they should think, and I should. And there's so many rules going on that are just getting broken when anybody ever feels. So that's the kind of vanity I'm talking about, when people just start to just self-glorification for to lift themselves up by putting other people down, and to get other people to. But anyway, but like vanity, of the physical, it's like, yeah, I'm guilty of that too. I want to look presentable, so I like looking good, so I think that's okay. So I noticed that the teeth thing, and that kind of bothers me. So I'm probably going to fix that, or do something about it, now that I'm kind of looking at it. Because I am a, I am a simple creature, and also a little bit vain. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a needing permission thing. So no comments. Comments, you. So anyway, luckily for me that, I still have no one watching these, so that's good. And I'm not advertising, and I'm not promoting, and I left one little place in the entirety of the universe that even, well, but then I talk about the project, but I don't talk about what the project is or how to find it or anything. And there's no links, and there's no description. There's no way to find this, unless you already know. And, but I don't know. I enjoy this privacy where it's just me. Because I don't stress myself out, even though I do stress myself out. Take that back. I got to be careful with this one. Because, I'm the only one of me that I got. So I got to take care of myself a little bit better, because it's my life, and for the longest time I wasn't living it. So I intend to live better, as long as I can, in the way that I can. Um, it's a life worth living, a life worth having, a life worth having, um, and a life worth sharing. So anyway, we are at another half an hour of me just talking, even though a few minutes of it is probably just silence while I'm trying to think of something to say. But it's crazy. And And this whole thing is going to probably take another hour, hour and a half to upload. But this is fun. I can see why people do this. I always wondered. I wondered the same thing about Facebook. It's like, why do people post their lives on Facebook? Who cares? And most of the time, well, I still hold that opinion about a lot of things. But it's like, well, the person that's posting it cares. Just like all the stuff that I post. It's like, I don't need or want a lot of times anybody to acknowledge it even. That's why I don't have friends on even Facebook. Not really. Um, they're not part of the process. It's just there for my own, to let myself see my own history and a place to record my thoughts. Or it's anonymously there that I know that other people can look at them and they can. And it's also accountability too. So I'm not just invisible. I'm not just a ghost to myself and the rest of the world. I actually do exist somewhere out there. So I don't know. I feel more real for being somewhere in the collective unconscious. For whatever reason, it helps. I don't know why. But anyway. Okay, now I'm going to go because this is just going on for it's too long. And I will try to go back to watch her video for her take on her alcoholism and her recovery from, because I definitely don't get many perspectives on that from the female side of things, because it feels just like that's a whole other conversation. Just the whole recovery thing being like, it's kind of like a boys' club. And it's, at least around here, there is, if you're a female or a woman, or that's got to be tough. Or at least around here. I don't even know, because as soon as a girl shows up, a young woman, they don't last very long. Stuff happens, and I don't know what happens, but usually it's not very good. And if they don't find an all-female group or female support, then there's a lot of abuse that goes on. Mental, physical, spiritual, probably mostly mental, I'd imagine. That's a whole other topic, and and none of it I have any firsthand knowledge of. I just witness what I think is going on, and how people are manipulated and dominated and gaslit all over the place. Their own weaknesses exploited and used against them to control them. And it is like, wow, she really had a good chance at recovery and getting to know herself and be independent. But then this other personality came along and just derailed and just swept her. But I don't know, choice, freedom. I don't really, so I don't know. This is why I'm careful, So that took a dark turn, didn't it? Anyway, it is real. So denying reality does not change reality. I just have to deal with reality instead. So I don't like everything. Now we're at 35 minutes, a new record